Hey, TSSG family. Not welcome to a lesson. Welcome to a Friday pop-up. Hey, y'all. How you doing? Hope it's a good Friday wherever you are. I see a couple of you have your notifications set. Say hello to me. Let's hang out for a couple of minutes. I wanted to share and just say hello and all that. I haven't been live for fun in a while. So wanted to say hey because one of my favorite days of the year is coming up this weekend. Did y'all know Sunday is International Coffee Day? Sunday is International Coffee Day. So how many coffee drinkers do I have in the room as you're coming in? Yeah, this is my cup. This is my cup. Y'all have seen my cup before. You've seen it in photos. That's my cup. It's here on my desk. Hasn't gone to the kitchen yet, so I could use it as a prop today. But yeah, you probably already had your cup of coffee because it's 11 o'clock on a Friday morning. So Sister Robin says, I love me some coffee. I love it. And how do you like your coffee? How do you like your coffee? Coffee for me is a science. So first of all, I do buy coffee. And I'm going to ask you in a second where your favorite place to buy coffee is, but I'll ask you in a minute. But when I brew it at home, which is most often, it is a science. And I literally use 1 Splenda and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon vanilla creamer. Like that is the perfect cup of coffee. And then I have a Keurig. And I also have a, what's that other machine called? It makes little lattes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm serious about it. I have both machines in the house and I love it. Okay, so I see Black Eyes. Oh, do you drink 2 cups of coffee a day? How many cups do y'all drink a day? How many cups do y'all drink? I'm like a 1 cup. I'm serious about my cup, but it only has to be 1. But I can also drink it any time of day. Like it does not bother me. I can drink it at 9 o'clock at night and I'm not going to stay up. So I don't even think that it's about the caffeine and waking me up. It's just like part of the morning routine. I'm a morning person. Oh, you drink 2 a day. Sister Gwendolyn says you love your coffee as well. Nice. So where do y'all buy coffee from when you're out? I love to hear this. Like I do drink Starbucks. I do. I think McDonald's does a pretty decent job, but people have tried to talk me like into Dunkin'. I wasn't one over there. That wasn't my thing. Scooters. I think that's one of the places I like here. That's a good spot. Yeah, I like kind of the little local places, honestly. 1 to 2 cups a day, Sister Gwendolyn. I see you. Sister Robin says with sweetener and a matching creamer. Oh, you're fancy. You got to coordinate your coffee flavor with your coffee creamer. I see what we're doing. That's nice. Yeah, you know what? Y'all click that thumbs up like button as you're coming in. I see somebody has already loved it. Oh, I did share this in a few places today. So I see those of you who are on YouTube. Y'all are loyal. Those of you on Facebook, I'm not calling you disloyal. I'm just asking you to make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube because y'all know I don't always show this kind of love on Facebook. So we're shared this morning to both the Facebook business page and good morning TSSG Connect. I shared for the first time here on this kind of video in our space this morning. So there are a lot of us in here this morning. Thank you, Sister Crystal. It's my Nespresso machine. Yes, I have a Keurig and a Nespresso machine. And I like them both. So anyway, I did want to share because it is International Coffee Day. And literally I was sitting here thinking about how I could share about coffee and what it has to do with Sunday school. And I also think that there are some really fun ways if you're thinking about how to do things that are just not traditional in your Sunday school that kind of create fun for the people that you minister to. I want to share a couple of ideas and you're free to share with me. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that we learned from coffee about Sunday school. And you can share anything in the comments that you think has to do with Sunday school. What does coffee have to do with Sunday school? How can we learn lessons? And I'm going to share my 3 with you very quickly. So the first one is around community and fellowship. And anytime you want to connect we find these sort of common things that we connect around, and sharing a cup of coffee is really an easy way. Like when I meet up with friends, I've got friends coming in town this weekend. That's kind of the first thing we say. You want to grab a cup of coffee, because it's just a nice way to sit and have a conversation and make a connection. And just the same, just like we do in coffee shops or wherever we meet up for coffee, Sunday school becomes this really great place where individuals can come together and gather and learn and strengthen our faith and just be in community together. And so I think coffee teaches us about this importance of creating really a welcoming and an inclusive environment where everybody who shows up feels like they can build a bond and that they can support each other as we go throughout our spiritual journey. So think about even like when you go in a coffee shop, there's one here that I love to see. It is it's actually owned by a church here. And when you go inside, what you see is you'll find people who are working, but you'll also find people who've met up in these like little small rooms they have, because again, it's just a great place for connection and fellowship. So yes, it is absolutely warming, Sister Robin. I love that you said that coffee is warming, and our Sunday school should be as well. So my second thing is really about like patience and reflection. So I told you that I kind of start some of my mornings with coffee. And honestly, I think it is just about the fact that I just sort of dial back in the moment, and I'm just kind of like thinking about what the day is going to bring. It's usually something I have around my devotional period of time. And so for me, it's just kind of that sit back and savor the moment. I love it even when it's brewing. I love part of the experience for me is even smelling it while it's brewing. So when I really think about like that sitting back and really savoring the flavor and savoring the day, I think that Sunday school in the same way sort of encourages us that space where we kind of dial back and really sit with material and think about what it means for us and really reflect. And then we have this chance to really dive into our teaching and really have those discussions. So really it emphasizes the time that we take to understand and the compassion that we have or the passion that we have around our faith, and really getting into those lessons without rushing. Like my coffee is not a rushed thing. Like sometimes I'll be honest with you, like when I'm here and I got a ceiling fan going over me when I'm working, if I got to go stick it back in the microwave, what I'm not doing is rushing that cup of coffee, even if I got to go reheat it. And when I travel, like I travel with a mug, a thermos that actually keeps things warm, because I want to take my time with that cup of coffee. All right. My third and final thing is really about nourishment for the soul. And again, I think coffee provides kind of this comforting yet rejuvenating experience. And I kind of think the same way about Sunday school, that it is this really spiritual nourishment for the soul. And it does remind us that we've got to take care of ourselves, our physical well-being, but it also gives us what we need in terms of our spiritual nourishment for our growth. And so those are my three little quick thoughts about what coffee has to do with Sunday school. And I'm also thinking about, like, I love our Sunday school. Every Sunday, our children are all served a full hot breakfast, but every Sunday, the adults have a coffee bar. And on the coffee bars, like whole fruit and granola bars, and sometimes they get the big muffins and cut them in half, because that's a whole lot of sugar for one person to eat a whole muffin. But that's all available. And it's funny because, like, if they took the food away, you can take all the food away, but leave the coffee bar at our church. And it honestly is like one of the best cups of coffee that I have in the week. Like Sister Sharon does something special, brewing that old school coffee. So it's a fun way to connect. It's a nice way to bring people together. And I literally watch before our students go into class, like the adults will stand in the cafe and just talk, and you hear wellness checks and people just having conversations with each other, and it really is a beautiful thing to experience. So thank you, Sister Robin. It's a nice way to start without just rushing in and thinking we got to sit down and open up our Bible. So this weekend, if you're a teacher, if you're a superintendent, if you're a Christian ed leader, if you're a pastor, maybe think about ways, because Sunday is actually International Coffee Day. So how can you incorporate something about coffee into what you do in that day? So I'll give you a couple of ideas. Maybe it is a coffee and fellowship hour. It's not too late to ask your students to show up 10 or 15 minutes early and to set up a coffee bar. You can brew coffee yourself. You can buy coffee boxes at Starbucks or Dunkin' or McDonald's or whoever does those to-go situations, and you can do a setup and dedicate a portion of your Sunday school time to a coffee and fellowship hour. and do just what I explained to you. Set up coffee, set up tea, maybe provide, it can be simple like we have, fresh fruit, granola bars, do some kind of little snack, but encourage students to have those conversations and make those connections with each other. Again, you're creating this true sense of community and strengthening the connections of people who come. Another idea that I had was really around like outreach. So Sunday school is not always about what we do with our books and our commentaries, etc., but how can you create sort of an outreach to others? And one thing I thought about was like going to the Dollar Tree and just buying a $1 mug. I know that the $1.25 tree now, I know that. But go to the $1.25 tree, maybe get mugs and put something in the mug. It could be snacks inside of the mug. It could be other essentials inside of the mug, and maybe put a card for your church, like a visitor card or an invitation, if you will, or maybe it is a copy of a Sunday school lesson, or maybe it's a note of encouragement. And you can, once you fill the mug with something, wrap it in the plastic cellophane, tie it, and maybe there are shelters in your area that you can maybe deliver a dozen mugs to and share not only the love of coffee and the idea of a coffee mug, but share the love of God with someone. And you never know, you may meet someone right where they need with your word of encouragement, and it could become an amazing evangelistic tool, not only for those who may need to know Christ, but even someone who might be looking for a place to worship. So those were a couple of my thoughts. You can always create a devotional around coffee like I've done and share it inside of your spaces, but definitely things that you can do around this idea. Hi, Sister Cheryl, your church doesn't currently have Sunday school. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're here. We love you on this platform. And I think that there are all kinds of amazing ways, even when we don't have those traditional settings that we miss, that we can do these types of things. So I'm glad that you're connected here. Thank you to those of you who popped on in a random middle of a Friday. But again, I wanted to say this coming Sunday, International Coffee Day. So happy International Coffee Day. And you know, I like sharing, I like giving gifts. And so I wanted to let you know that for those of you who are members of the TSSG Connect, you should go to the portal and check the section called perks, because our fun stuff, inside of your fun stuff is your perks. And there is a perk there for International Coffee Day that is good through Sunday. So grab that and enjoy it. Thank you for being a member of the TSSG Connect. And for everyone else, in fact, TSSG Connect, this applies to you too, but for everyone, you're able to save 10% on any mug in our Etsy store this weekend. And so if you go to Etsy, type in that Sunday School Girl, you're going to find t-shirts, totes, candles, coffee mugs. And this weekend, if you use the code coffee, you will save 10% on any mug. And yes, my friends, there are both Sunday school and church school versions of the coffee mugs in the Etsy store. And there's a whole lot of other things. If you love showing Sunday school enthusiasm, there's a lot of merchandise inside of the Etsy store. And I do want you to grab it. If you're not a member of the TSSG Connect and you're wondering, what are these perks and what are these people over there receiving? I do invite you to check out the TSSG Connect, and you can certainly learn more about it. Where we are sharing, that's where Markup Monday, the live version, has moved. We actually have Markup Monday coming up this coming Monday, but we share the weekly notes are inside. There's quarterly training. There's a private Facebook group, and we are truly becoming a bonded group at another level, because it really means something when you can put names with faces. I love this digital platform, but I'm really loving Monday, every other Monday night, first and third Mondays, when we're on Zoom and we get to see these faces and personalities. And what I love is there is so much learning that takes place and sharing. There's so much more we can share when we're able to see our faces and use our voices. And so we're doing that in that space. So I love it. Thank you for sharing this little coffee break time with me. Hey, Sister Griffin. And I hope that, again, these 3 ideas have made you think about how we can connect the idea of coffee and Sunday school. And more than anything, now that you got maybe 36 hours, maybe you can create something fun that will happen inside of your own Sunday school space. Everybody go and have a great rest of your Friday. And oh yes, all the lessons are posted. Both lessons are posted. The kid pack is posted. The notes are posted. And they've been up almost all week. We've been posting earlier. Have y'all noticed that? Anybody notice we've been posting much earlier? And I hope that it's been a blessing to you and that it's helping you. All right, everybody go and enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.